It's a pretty common dream to want to live in a luxurious mansion. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in a place with swimming pools, huge sitting rooms with floor-to-ceiling glass windows, and enough bedrooms and bathrooms to house all of your friends? However, with the prices of these mansions being rather costly, especially in the United States, it makes living in one quite far out of reach for most people. Well, what if we told you that you could own your very own mansion for as low as $1? Yes, you heard me right. You can own a mansion in all its amazingness for the price of a stick at gum. At this point, a small part of your mind really wants to believe that this deal could be legit. However, the rational part knows that it is too good to be true. We totally hate to burst your bubble, but there are catches and consequences to purchasing a mansion at such a cheap and almost unrealistic price. From terrifying histories and paranormal activities to serious internal and external damages, these mansions remain on the market even at such cheap prices. For mansions with so much history, size, and style, there has to be a really good explanation as to why no one wants to buy them even for $1. So in this video, we are going to explore those reasons. But before we do, be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and hit the subscribe button so that you never miss another one of our videos. Number 1. Aubrey Lewis House in New Jersey. This Montclair mansion, without a doubt, is a beauty to behold. It comes with 6 bedrooms and sits on a 4,000 square feet property with a pretty interesting architectural design. This house was owned by Aubrey Lewis, who in 1906 was the first African American to join the FBI. Such an attractive mansion should be an easy choice for someone who dreams of living in a mansion, especially since it's on the market for just $10. However, that is very far from the case, as people continue to refuse to purchase this home. The catch to owning this property is pretty serious. A decision to purchase this mansion comes with a lot of responsibilities, most of which are financial. Once purchased, the mansion would have to be moved from its present location to a different one. The local authorities want to construct 8 more buildings in that location, and the Aubrey Lewis mansion is an obstruction. This is probably getting a lot more unappealing even for such a cheap price, right? We know. The cost of relocating such a building aren't cheap in any way. The house cannot be demolished as instructed by the Montclair Planning Board, so if by chance any of you have tens of thousands of dollars laying around the house, there's still the issue of the house falling apart because of how old and weak the structure has become. Number 2. S.K. Pierce Mansion, Gardner, Massachusetts. The S.K. Pierce Mansion is well known for the paranormal activities that multiple people have witnessed take place. This one-of-a-kind Victorian-style mansion comes with 10 bedrooms and was owned by Sylvester Pierce. Sylvester Pierce was into the furniture business and was quite a wealthy man. He built the mansion for his wife and his son, and didn't spare any cost in order to make it perfect. The doorknobs, roof, fireplace, floors, and so on were made with great detail and style. Unfortunately, the struggles of the family started when Sylvester's wife Susan passed away due to a strange illness, and so the man decided to remarry. From that point on, things just went downward. Sylvester and his wife, who had 3 sons, died a little later on, and from then on, the family business crumbled. A battle began between the brothers for who would take over the property, and at the end of the day, it fell to the youngest son. The building was then turned into a boarding home, where multiple terrible things began to happen. There were multiple murders, a drowning, and even a fire, most of which were mysterious. A lot of people believe that the mansion was haunted by the deceased family. People claim to hear, see, and feel weird things when visiting the mansion. These happenings caused the mansion to be on sale for $329,000, which is a giveaway price for such a stunning property. Number 3. Horror House, Long Island, New York. You shouldn't be surprised we have another haunted house on our list. What could possibly make you refuse to buy a house that's sold at such a ridiculous price if there aren't any murderous ghosts involved? You've probably watched, read, or heard the Amityville horror movie and book. Countless people have sworn that strange events have happened in this house. The DeFeo family had lived in this 5-bedroom mansion until their 23-year-old son murdered them all in 1974. It's no wonder that people are reluctant to purchase a house where such a gruesome murder took place. That's not even the only reason why the house is still available on the market. People who have lived here claim that it's haunted. When you have objects floating on their own and being thrown across the room, I bet you'd also believe it's haunted. However, the house was actually bought by a brave individual in 2017 for $200,000. Who knows? It might go back on sale very soon. Number 4. Queen Anne, Hercules, California. Next on our list is a single-family home that has also been neglected on the market, even with the sale price of being as low as $1. Let's see why. The Queen Anne Historic House was named by the town of Hercules back in 2010. The government had a plan to work on the building and make it into a visitor center, as it still had some potential. The building was then divided into half, but unfortunately the project was abandoned. With the demarcation of the building, it definitely made it even more unappealing than before. The town of Hercules decided to put the property back on sale for 100 pennies to anyone willing to buy. On the other hand, let's assume that the building was still in one piece. The damages of the interior and exterior part of the Victorian-style house were severe. Now, along with the division, there's a good chance that the Queen Anne house won't be purchased anytime soon, even at the giveaway price of $1. Who knows? Maybe somebody would see so much potential in the building and decide to go all out to restore the home. Number 5. The Hex House, Pennsylvania. Here's another haunted house on our list, and this one is also on the market for a ridiculously cheap price. It's a common fact that the haunted houses have really weird and scary stories attached to them, including the Hex House. The house was originally owned in the early 1900s by Nelson Raymeyer, who was interested in faith healing and witchcraft. Nelson and another local witch by the name of John Blymeyer had strained relations. At one point, John accused Nelson of putting a curse on him to harm his health. In 1928, a confrontation between the two men and 2 other accomplices of John led to the murder of Nelson Raymeyer. He had refused to remove the curse of bad health from John, so they murdered him and set his house ablaze. Weirdly enough, the house didn't face severe damage. For many years, the Hex House has been locked until 2017, when the family decided to open up the building in hopes of selling it. As you would expect, there were many strange events happening in the house which kept people from buying the property. Even when put on the market at a very cheap price, the house was still avoided. The property has since been locked down again and removed from the market. Number 6. Ouerbacker Manor, Kentucky. Without a doubt, the Ouerbacker Clement Manor has quite an impressive architectural look. It was owned by Samuel Ouerbacker in the 1860s, and during that time, it was seen as a one-of-a-kind building. However, with some serious damages caused by old age and even vandalism, this mansion was put on the market for just $1. The level of renovation that would need to be done to this building would not be a piece of cake, which is why the town of Louisville decided to sell it at such a cheap price. The house was once sold to Scott Creamer, who after much pointless effort, returned the property back to the town. This Romanesque manor was then put back on the market, where it was bought again in 2014 by Oracle Design, who planned to make it a historic rehabilitation project. Nevertheless, we're not so sure that the Ouerbacker Manor will remain off the market completely, but who knows, maybe it will be restored to a better state. Number 7. Granite Loma, Lake Superior, Michigan. The last house on our list has not seen any gruesome murders that we know of, and is not structurally damaged or haunted by any ghosts. If it doesn't have any of these major deal breakers, then what could make this Granite Loma cabin still available on the market at such a discounted price? The initial price for this massive 26-bedroom cabin was $40 million, but it was eventually cut down to $20 million, a price not even up to its worth. The first thing that makes this property unappealing is how isolated it is from any major city. Anything can happen when you live there, and if you need to go to the hospital for an emergency, the closest one is 200 miles away. The interior of the cabin is also outdated and stuffy, so a renovation would cost a whole lot of money. There's also the freezing winter weather to deal with, and heating up an entire 26-bedroom cabin would cost a great deal of money. Running a property of this size would not be cheap, so you can't blame anyone for turning a blind eye despite the price. As you can see, mansions can be purchased for ridiculously cheap prices, but the catches are just too major to ignore. Who knows? Maybe one day someone will decide to change the fate of these historic buildings. Assuming you had the resources to take any of these mansions listed, which one would you buy and why? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you like this video.